send it to you by email, so you also can save it on your phone, send it off to your family members. And then everyone is also, there are out of town people are also getting a mailing with the same information. So you've got it in a hard copy and you've got it electronically. Now, some of you are on our group flight, and some of you purchased your own air or upgraded your air. So if you have a special air, you do not have one of these little notebooks that says tickets. I made a copy of, like for the Petrocellis, I made a copy of your air ticket. For the two of you, I made a copy of your air tickets. And Bridget, I made a copy of your air ticket. Everyone else should, in your folder, have a copy of the actual air ticket, because there's, I think, about 15, 16 of us on the air ticket. So it is a group ticket. In previous emails, I did share that with a group ticket, I am not able to assign seats. I hope that I could, but I can't. And as a result, for those of you on this ticket, I've asked you and I've given you instructions on how to select seats. And it's, if you follow those instructions exactly, you should be able to do it. And I know that there are several of you who have mastered it.
After the fifth time around.
Yeah. So
Will help you.
If you have decided, I'm just going to wait until check-in, you can do that. Because it's a group ticket and it's an international ticket, we're not able to check in 24 hours in advance. We have to check in when we get to the airport. If you haven't selected seats, be sure that you're checking in with the person you want to sit with. Now, couples, I don't need to know, if you've already had a fight going there or not. But I mean, especially for some of our ladies who are traveling with each other, the airline has your last name. They really do not know that you are roommates. So I just wanted to just share that, so that there shouldn't be any confusion about why some people got some things in their packets and other things. Yes, I would say it's not that expensive.
Linda, can you repeat the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, if you have not gone into the Turkish Air website to look at seats, I recommend you do. And it's not very expensive, but that way, if you need to be toward the front, or you need to be in an aisle, or you need to be near a restroom, now is the time to look at that. And it, as I said, it's not very expensive. And then you got the seats that you want.
And it's color coded too. Like if you need a seat with extra leg room or like some other preference, it's color coding for which seats are which. So it makes it really easy to pick out what kind you need.
Mm-hmm. Sure. With your last, yes, they will. They will assign you. And then when you check in, always verify it. The question is, They haven't signed, they haven't pre-selected. I will say that we have a newcomer to our group, a friend of Joyce and Jolene's, and our group contract had already expired, so I couldn't go into that inventory. So I went online to with Turkish Air, and yes, there were seats available, but it's like the closer you get to a flight, sometimes they just, they disappear. So I don't want people to be disappointed, but by getting our contract and being able to offer everything we're offering on this cruise, we did get a great airfare. Thus, the fact that you need to pay, what, I don't know, what is it? Maybe $70 or so
For 2 people, it was like 220 when I did it.
when you did. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a real bargain.
Well, and the way I thought about it, this is what, an 11.5-hour flight.
Mhm.
So for 11.5 hours, you probably want to be more comfortable. So you probably want to choose ahead of time. Like if you, prefer a window or an aisle, or, need that extra leg room,
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend doing it, because you don't want to be stuck in the random middle seat with no leg room
Right.
for 11.5 hours if you can avoid it.
So, oh, there's food. Oh, there are flights. I mean, we'll have a lunch, because our flight leaves at like 11:30. We'll have a lunch and probably a snack, and then breakfast before we arrive in Istanbul. So, and I have flown Turkish Air several times. It is a top quality airline. I think you will enjoy it.
Linda,
Yes,
did you say that this Turkish Airlines is connected with a domestic?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. So you can either go online and enter, and I may have entered yours already. But you can put your United Mileage Plus numbers in there and you will get miles. And but I always, when I'm checking in, I say, do you have my, my United Mile number? And sometimes it disappears in cyberspace and then they can enter it in. So bring it with you.
I could not get it to take it. It was selecting my seat. It would not take my United number.
Hmm.
Was all kinds of-
Do it at the counter.
Yeah, you can do it right at the counter as well. And you can do it on the return flight and you'll still get credit for the ongoing. You want to do it while you're flying. If you don't and you have your boarding passes, you can go in after the fact and get that credit. There was a question. Yes.
Did I see there were 2 bags allowed? Those-
Yes, and I want to talk about that.
Okay.
It's on my list. Let's see, is there anything else? Well,
Yes.
Where's the Wi-Fi? I can't get into any of the Wi-Fi.
Back here in Immerse, I think, what is it? Putnam Exhibits might be your best bet.
It's to connect automatically and it's.
Sure.
Let me see what I'm on right now.
So you got your.
Oh, you can use the Fab Lab one, although I don't remember the password. No, so Putnam Public is the Putnam 1867 one. It's Putnam 1867. Or hold on. That's try Putnam with 2 exclamation points. That's that new one that Derek just did. So the password is not as ingrained. Yeah. No, just try Putnam 2 exclamation points, because I think Derek shortened it. I'm guessing it was a bandwidth thing to
we could turn on more lights.
Yeah, do you want to turn on some lights? Yeah.
You want a little more light?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, well,
The sun's going out earlier now.
yeah.
How many?
The other thing that is,
Whoa.
woo! The other thing that is tucked in your little folder is your Celestial Cruises boarding pass. And there's really not really too much to it, although it does list your name, the departure, the ports of call and what days. And then the most important thing, for those of you who have already signed up for optional tours, it does list and verify what you have paid for. So if I've checked it, double checked it, triple checked it, but if something does not look right to you, let me know. And because we are checking in as a group, they have given us a time, which happens to be 1:30 on Saturday. It could very well be that they won't do it individually. They may not need to scan this, but I would bring it since you've got a copy of it. Any questions on the boarding pass? Pretty simple. Yes.
So the QR code that's on the back is our.
Yes.
reference there.
Right.
So is that anything that we can? Understand?
Well, I suppose somebody could take a picture of it and,
I mean, it won't create.
I mean, this is really the extent of it. So it is pretty simple. The other thing, and I'm maybe jumping around a second here, but on the day that we have had our second night in Athens, in the morning, we will check out of our hotel, and then we're going to the National Archaeology Museum on that Saturday morning. And so we'll have our breakfast. At 10 o'clock, we go to the museum. We're there 2 hours or so. And then we're going to be heading over to the ship, going to Piraeus. And once we check in, yes, you can go to your cabins, but you can also get lunch on the ship. They have a Greek grill that is open in the afternoon. And the other thing is, if you need a beverage, we do have our drink package so that you can have a beer, you can have a glass of wine, you can have cocktails. You're on the ship, so anyway, you don't need to worry about lunch. It's covered. So that is the boarding pass information. All right. Yes.
Our reservation in our Celestial group numbers don't.
The cabin number.
Cabin number,
What you emailed and what you had here tonight aren't the same.
okay. She split you up. They're each into the.
Go with the boarding pass. Go with the, yeah. I did see that some of our cabins changed from the time that I originally selected, and they reserve the right to do that. And you're only one away.
So we ordered a deluxe balcony and transferred to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There's no sense of electric property. This one says SJC.
That is the deluxe spot. That's their code. Their
That's junior
code.
suite.
Yeah, it's called the junior,
Okay.
a junior suite.
Okay.
Any other questions about what you're seeing on your confirmation? Okay. All right. Well, the the one, I know I've got that on my list. I just have a few topics to cover tonight.
Somebody asked about bags.
Oh, the question about bags, it is on the list.
Right,
So we're gonna talk about luggage.
okay.
So we've already talked about the electronic versions of everything, and all of your hotel rooms are confirmed. If you had a special request, I've confirmed that. We have one couple that they are flying in a night before, and you should have your information and your voucher for your room. Okay, I wanted to go over again what is included in your Putnam package, because it's awesome. I mean, really, all that we did include. So you do have this drink package, which is alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. If you really have like a special type of scotch that you have to have, there may be an upcharge for that, but we're talking a couple of euros and such. But in general, every beverage you want is covered there.
You bring refillable cups, or do they just give you?
They-
plastic cups, or-
They will, yeah, they'll always give you a beverage cup, but that's a good question. I would recommend that you all bring water bottles that you can. I tend to fill mine up at breakfast when they have some beautiful, water at the buffet. They have water stations on the ship. In our coach, I have ordered 2 bottles of water for everyone on every day we're in the coach. Rob,
When you want to drink at the bar, how would they know I had to drink?
they're going to know because you're going to be issued a card,
Okay.
and it'll have, ours is called what, the Mile High or something. Sky High, the Sky High drink package,
Okay.
and they will know. Woohoo! The other thing that I will arrange, you can participate or not. I encourage you to participate. There is a large dining room where people can pretty much go and sit wherever they want. Or there's a specialty dining room called the Smoked Olive. And I have requested, like we have 25 in our group, a seating for 25. So that on any given evening, if you want to sit with all of your new friends, we will have that table. And the other nice thing is that, well, we have the same servers for all 7 nights. Now, that's in the Smoked Olive. It's, I think, pretty much the same menu, but they were special, and so we have that. But the other thing is, with your package, if you're celebrating your anniversary or you just want a little time away from us, there are specialty restaurants, and with our package, you get a 25% discount in that restaurant. You would make that reservation, and
Do you have to make reservations for them?
for the specialty restaurant, yes.
Okay.
So there's a standard, then there's our special smoke.
Right.
Then there are other restaurants
Yes.
where we reserve, and that is
Right.
our bill.
That's your bill, but you get a 25% discount off of it.
Okay.
And the group that I traveled with last year, I would say every night we had 30 or 32 in our group. I would say every night there were a handful that chose to eat someplace else, or they were tired, or they just wanted a gyros, or they decided to eat on the island. And, we whoever's there is there. you know, and so you don't need to check in with Nora or myself. It's just a nicety, and we just found that, again, friendships are made, and it's just really nice to have our own seating. Yes, I believe, I mean, they will give us the seating time. I think it was 7. I think it was 7. I mean, it's either when the vessel has already, you know, left a port, or it's after, usually they have a talk about the next day's excursion or arrival. And so it's just a natural progression to go on to dinner. With our package, we also have 7 hours of included Wi-Fi. You can use all 7 hours the first day, and then you can go to the purser's desk and purchase more, and it's per person. So so they don't cut you off, and you know, like the first day, they don't just give you the 1 hour. It's a matter that the program just keeps track, and after 7 hours, then you purchase. But let's hope that you're not spending too much time. Yeah. Yeah.
Then each,
Yes,
each person or each?
each person has 7.
Question on that.
Yes.
If a couple only want to use one phone for their Wi-Fi, does that mean you could use 14 hours? Use up, in other words, can my wife use up my time?
That may be an answer for the purser's desk. It could be based on the email address.
Okay.
I would ask at the purser's desk. Let's see. Now, the other thing that we have included are for the ship. Now, the 7 days on the cruise, we have included basic gratuities, which get split amongst all of the crew members. Now, if you have a favorite bartender, or your cabin steward just goes above and beyond, and you want to thank them more, I know they would love, an extra gratuity, but know that we have already built in the gratuity that's spread amongst everyone. Yes, and the other thing that we have included in the price of our trip is our transportation from the Putnam and from Geneseo to Chicago O'Hare and return, and the gratuity for that service has already been built in. So you don't need to worry about, tipping for that. Now, I do want to talk about what's not included. Not too much, but on our land tour, we have our guide, and his name is Michael. I have worked with him before. He is a wealth of knowledge and a really nice guy. A tip for him at the end of our last day, he'll meet us at the airport, and he'll take us all the way to the port. So he'll be with us 5 days. My recommendation, and I know you're going to love them, but my recommendation is like €7 to €10 per day. Now,
This is not covered.
and this is not covered, right? And it's based on your preference. I think that you will have a wonderful experience, but that it is optional. And his name is Michael. We're with him 5 days or 7 days? We're with him 5 days. We arrive on the 30th, and he drops us off on the 4th.
Okay.
Same guy.
Same guy. And our excuse me?
Is he our transport from the airport?
We have he will be with our coach driver. And then we have our own coach for those 5 days. And that coach driver will be the one that's putting your bags in, taking our bags out, helping, assisting us. My recommendation would be €3 to €5 a day for that person, for the driver. Now, the other thing for your optional tours that you have signed up for with Celestial, many of those guides are local. They're local from the island. They do not work for the cruise line. And if you're satisfied, a tip, if they've done a good job, is always appreciated because it is a local person. My recommendation on that could be anywhere from a €2 coin up to a €5 note. Let's see. And I wanted to talk a little bit about currency. I just picked up some from US Bank today. Locally, I know that US Bank and Wells Fargo. Is there any other? Whoops. Woohoo! Is there Blackhawk, the credit, Blackhawk Bank?
Wells
Okay.
Fargo will do it unless you remember the bank.
Well, that's true.
Same thing.
Same thing with Blackhawk, same thing with US Bank.
That doesn't do us any good.
Well, then I have an alternative. If you do belong to any of those banks, you can, if you go into the bank, you can request smaller bills. And they'll do their best. Like they gave me quite a few 5s and some 10s, but then they threw in a couple of 50s. And I got mine like within 24 hours. So, but if you don't go to one of those banks, we are flying in and out of the international terminal at O'Hare, and we have to be there 3 hours in advance. We should have plenty of time. There are currency exchanges at the airport. I would rather you do it at O'Hare and don't try to do it at the Athens airport because we've got a driver waiting for us and the Petrocellis will be waiting for us. And that's not the time to do it once you get to the Athens airport. So my recommendation, if you go to a currency exchange, if you brought cash, let's say a couple $100, you're going to get the best exchange rate for cash. If you give them a credit card, they're going to charge you a credit card fee, and you don't need that. Now, when you get to the town of Nafleon, there will be banks, and the ATMs that I recommend are the ATMs that are like right in front of a bank. I don't feel comfortable with some ATMs that are like right in front of a restaurant or a bar or something.
Yeah, the tourist sites tend to have big upcharges on them.
Yeah, right. So, with an ATM, you should, and as long as you've notified your bank that you're going, you should be able to put it in, put your PIN number in, and get the amount of euros you want.
You have a recommendation of how much we should have?
I got $300 worth. And I can tell you what their exchange rate was today.
At least the euro is pretty stable. When we were in Egypt, the pound was just bouncing around.
Yeah, the exchange rate for every euro, I had to pay $1.26. So, and it goes up and down. You will get your best rate using an ATM as opposed to a service like this. But I always like to have some in my pocket. The other thing, when you're at Nafleon, which you're going to love Nafleon, go and, buy something and get some change. Because public restrooms most require a payment. And it can be as little as a half a euro, could be €1. You just want to have some change in your pocket, for that. So just bring a little change purse and or a Ziploc bag or something. Yes.
It's a lot of American. Greeks don't take it.
Mm-mm.
They don't want to pay the fee to change it.
Nope. They want euros.
The euro does better.
Yeah, they do want euros. Yeah.
Yeah, in Egypt, the American dollar was, such a step up.
Yes, they will take credit cards. Not for the bathroom. And oftentimes there is a attendant who will make change. But again, you're not wanting to give them more than a £5 note for a 50-cent stop. Yeah. And people in our group will, loan you whatever
Ooh, I have a question.
you need. Yes.
Our coach, will there be a restroom on our coach?
There should be. They request that it's only for emergencies because it stays with us the whole time. There's no place. There's no place to empty it.
Okay, so plan on the public restrooms. Okay.
Those 4 or 5 days.
Yes, they will not be emptying it. So it'll have some. Yeah. But that also brings up something about on the coach. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a full coach for 25 of us, which is kind of nice. We can spread out and such. A couple of things. We have some people that may have motion sickness, and we have some people with mobility issues. And I'd like to reserve the front couple of seats for that. And sometimes you don't know that you're going to have nausea. And it would be nice to know that you can just, use one of those seats. And I also encourage you to kind of rotate around and not always go to the same seat, especially if we've got that many seats. And the other thing that I am a stickler, and I know some of you are educators, and I think you'll agree with me, when our guide, Michael, is sharing information, please don't talk over him. And I have been on some coaches where, people think, well, we can't have our conversation because Michael's talking. And that just, we've invested too much on this trip to not be able to enjoy that. So if there is some surface conversation, it should be really important. I think that's enough said. So let's see. Shore excursions. Yeah, money question. Yes.
Is there a recommended credit card to use?
She's right.
I think Visa and Master are better than American Express.
Oh, thank you, Dan. That's good. I'll bring mine.
So the question was a preferred credit card, Visa and Master. Discover does not fly in Europe.
Okay. So
Yes.
Visa or MasterCard
Yeah,
or what?
Steve.
Check with your bank about foreign exchange.
So they know.
Can be significant.
You're right. Right.
I've been to Italy and France. That was just fine.
It was. Okay. Well,
This is.
I I know that there are some destinations where we have problems, so I think it'd be a good idea to have a backup, just so you're not, frustrated.
So that's
Yes,
the other thing somebody told me, which I think is really smart. So you're gonna have local currency. So if you want an ice cream cone, pay cash. Because all you need is somebody to butter up your credit card when you don't have a card. That's 11 days.
right.
So small purchases.
Yes, small purchases use cash. Yeah, use the local cash. Now, we have one day in Turkey, and that's when we're in Ephesus. And your tour isn't already included. And so tipping in euro, I mean, a tip is a tip, they're not good, but they do have a different currency. And if you make a major purchase, one thing about Turkey is it actually is a kind of a contract that the cruise lines have with the Turkish government, that the Turkish government wants to promote local handicraft, and in particular, it is their carpet weaving. And they will take all of us, and regardless of what tour you're on, all of us will have the opportunity to see local carpet weaving. It is beautiful. And if indeed you want a Turkish carpet in your home, and I have more than one, they will be more than happy to help sell you one. You negotiate for it. You just keep on, going back and forth. And then if you decide to purchase one, their pricing includes the delivery. And that in particular is where you want to know what your credit card is going to charge. Like if you're buying $1,000 carpet, what your credit card might be charging, for that. And there are all different sizes. I bought just a little carpet, which I ended up framing, and I have it on the wall. And it's better than walking on this beautiful carpet. I get to see it. So there's, and they have just a variety. I would say just enjoy the presentation. Know that there are women who are doing this as a living, and admire. But just know that it is something that is negotiated with, I believe, almost all the cruise lines that are able to stop at Kusadasi or Ephesus. Sure.
Will most other places do that kind of thing for you if you're in a gift shop somewhere?
Ship home.
Yes.
If it's a large item, yes, they will. And if you're in Greece, because they are in the European Union, Greece, I believe, has the value added tax. And as long as it's being shipped back to the United States, they won't charge you the value added tax, but they will give you a receipt showing that they took off the value added tax. And when we're at the airport, we need to, if you have one of those certificates, you need to drop it off at the value added tax counter. And that's something that, again, Michael will remind us of that. Yes.
Because of the recent restrictions in shipping from all foreign countries, you might want to really check into that before you. Because there's a big restriction on how much you have to pay. And so a lot of places quit shipping temporarily.
There's a lot of stuff
They will not ship anymore right now because of that.
I think, again, that's something that Michael will have the update, on that.
There you go.
I was amazed. Now, of course, last year was a year, I mean, it was a whole different year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
How many carpets were purchased last year? And of our group of 32, I bet we had at least 8 carpets purchased. And then what at least at the store that we bought our carpets, they were all shipped to Chicago together, like in a container. And then they had a driver who brought all of our carpets at the same time. So they would call in advance to make sure you're home and then deliver, because they want to make sure that the carpet that you purchased is the carpet that they're delivering. And also they want to answer any questions. Nobody sent back their carpets, I'll tell you that. Okay, I want to talk about luggage, because a carry-on on an airplane, you think, oh, my carry-on is a roller bag, and it's pretty good size, and I put it right above my seat. Well, on a coach, our coach, we cannot have roller bags above our seats on the coach. So the only thing that we can have inside of the coach is something very soft, like a backpack, especially because we may each get a seat to ourselves. But when a coach stops, and if anything's going to start flying in the coach, it has to be soft-sided. And so that could be a little tote bag, it could be a backpack, but just know inside the coach, it has to be soft-sided. Now, and we have paid during our time on land, the mainland, we have paid for baggage handling. It is for your one big suitcase per person. And they will take it off the coach, they will get it up to your room so that you're not having to be looking for your bag, but it's one per person. If you bring, like some of you may have medical equipment, or you may have another bag or a walker or whatever, that can go underneath the coach, but you are responsible for everything that you are toting with you, with the exception of the one bag. And I stress that because I have been on some trips where, well, they just said, well, they won't mind another bag. Well, it could get left because they're going to be counting. And, for our group, we have 25. So they're going to be counting 25 big bags. So if you have another bag or a roller or something that goes under the coach, it is your responsibility. Yeah, so that would be backpacks, like a small roller, your tote bags. Let's see, we've talked about the soft-sided.
Linda, I pulled dimensions on the baggage for
Okay.
Turkish Airlines.
Mhm.
Would you like me to share?
Sure.
So, I was tooling around on the Turkish Airlines website after I reserved our seats, and I was looking at their restrictions for carry-on bags and then the weight restriction for your checked bag. So I do have those. Of course, they give them in centimeters and kilograms, so I've gone ahead and converted them. So the carry-on baggage measurements, 21.6 by 15.7 by 9.05. These are in inches. This is converted to inches. So that's your carry-on measurements. The maximum weight for your carry-on is 17.6 pounds. This is from Turkish Airlines website, just as of last week, I think is when I was on it. Now, 17.6 pounds. It's 8 kilograms, so that's the conversion I got from Google. Now, as far as the checked bag, the maximum weight is 50 pounds. It's technically 50.7, but play it safe and go for 50 pounds, I say. You're probably going to end up paying extra if it's over. You're probably going to get an upcharge. Oh, Linda, do you know what the upcharge is for Turkish Airlines?
For another suitcase?
No, for if it's overweight.
Oh. I mean, I know that if you want to buy another suitcase and fill it with all of your treasures, it's probably $100.
Yeah, the Turkish airline website, when you go on there, there's a tab that says baggage, is pretty front and center. So you click on that, and then it might ask like your flight information, like if you're on an international flight, you know, that sort of thing, because they have different rules for domestic flights. They don't provide a size for the checked bag. They just provide a weight. It's just the weight they're concerned about for the checked bag because, you know, weight in the airplane.
Yeah.
End of.
Right.
Personal item needs to stay small. They're very strict on this, according to the website.
Yeah.
Like size of a camera bag, think like that. For the personal item. According to their website, they want the personal item to stay small, like headphone size, camera bag size. Yeah, the backpack is a carry-on.
What you would have for a size, like a.
CPAP machine.
That is excluded. I mean, in that, if you can have that, any medical equipment
Device.
that goes above and beyond.
Okay.
Now, you will see on your tickets that it says 2 checked bags. But remember, when you get to Greece, we're only handling 1 big bag. And the rest of it is your responsibility. And that also means your medical equipment. So my recommendation is have your big bag and whatever you want to be responsible for, be it a backpack, be it a really lightweight little something on wheels and such, but know that those wheels, anything on wheels has to go under the coach. You cannot put it in.
If you are using a backpack rather than a wheel,
Mm-hmm.
is there a weight limit on the backpack? If I can carry it, I can have it as a backpack.
Well, it would still follow.
17 pounds.
Yeah, so as far as the airline is concerned, they don't want your backpack to exceed 17.6 pounds. They're concerned about the weight for the airplane and I don't know, aerodynamics, I suppose. So you send them an email, okay?
Yes.
All right, is there going to be facilities?
I think she would.
There, yes, on the ship, there's laundry facilities. Your steward will, provide, there'll be instructions, there'll be a little bag. But it's on the ship. The first 5 days.
They believe in hot water.
Yeah, the trades don't give it to them.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
I just want to confirm again,
Well, they
Yes.
dry clean though.
there is no personal item and carry-on.
Yes.
No, you.
But you said your personal item has to be teeny.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
Right.
So I can.
So you can have your backpack that is your carry-on. That's your official carry-on. And then you can also have like a camera bag, you know, or headphones or your,
Correct.
that is correct. So you have your checked bag and then your carry-on and then maybe a little personal item. So, and like I
So
said,
it's not like you
Correct.
get a carry-on and a tote bag or.
yeah, no, it sounds like they're a lot stricter about that. This is according to their website again, but it sounds like they're a bit stricter about the size of the personal item than American flights
I
are.
don't think
My, my little hint, and you're all gonna get one of these, is in your big suitcase, get some bubble wrap and line your big suitcase with bubble wrap and maybe throw in some tape. And because you're going to be buying things on this trip, and Turkish Air allows you to have 2 check bags. We just don't want 2 check bags on the way out because of our land trip. But you're each going to get this really nice bag that you're going to leave tonight with it. And well, if I can, oops, here we go. And it makes for a really nice either carry-on, and your backpack, you might choose to check that with your dirty clothes, but you put your items in here. And so I have my bubble wrap, and then I put this maybe on top of my bubble wrap, and it's then all the rest of my items, so that when I'm ready to pack, when we're getting off the ship, and I have bought all those neat things on the trip, I use my bubble wrap and my tape, and then either I put all my items in here or in my backpack or whatever, but you can check 2 bags on the way home. So just kind of think about that. And if your backpack is such that it's got a good zipper on it, and you want to, what I generally do is I put my dirty clothes in the backpack and I check it along with my big suitcase, and then my precious, because I there's a lot of beautiful ceramics in Greece and in Turkey that is breakable but beautiful and not terribly expensive. That's what I'm going to have in whatever I'm taking with me on the flight. So tonight, I have a bag for everyone, and I have 2 luggage tags per person, and then each one of these are the little holders for the luggage tag. So we've got, yeah, there should be plenty, so don't leave home without it.
Do we need to use those for identifiers for the birds?
More for the land tour, because CETA was kind enough to send it to us. The ship, when we check in, they're going to give us some kind of a paper tag to put around our bag so that they can get our bag to your cabin, but it's not a heavyweight thing. And they will give us a different one when we're ready to get off the ship. I am requesting an early off for our ship, because our flight leaves about 10:30. I think yours leaves at 11. So, and I'll make those arrangements. But they will give us, they'll give us a tag that either lets everyone know that ours gets pulled early. That's neat. We're almost down here. Then of course you got your questions. We talked about the VAT, value added tax, and now in Europe I have found that if I'm going to buy something that's fairly expensive, or I find a shop that has just about what I want, because I believe there's a minimum like $75 or $100 that for them even to fill out a value added form. So you're not going to get a form for a $25 purchase. Let's see, we talked about airport check-in. and the seats and such. Now, we have our own transfer vehicle that's going to be picking us up here at the Putnam. And if you want to park, people can park in your parking.
Yes, if you'd like to leave your car in our parking lot up there, you are welcome to. The Putnam will know that your cars are out there. They're not going to have anyone towed or anything like that. So you are welcome to leave your car in the Putnam parking lot if you choose.
And I would like you to be here parked and have your bag where we're gathering.
Structured classes.
I need for you to physically be here by 5 a.m.
One.
And yes.
We're just having a party out in the lot after
Yeah,
midnight.
yeah. Now, we may not actually pull out, because we have to I'm gonna be checking, or Nora, make sure you've got your passport. If you don't have your passport, you're not going.
Make sure you have it in a pocket in your bag where you can easily reach it, because you're gonna have to pull it out so many times at the airport anyway. In mine, I have a special pocket that's just reserved I can just reach right into
Yeah.
very easily. So
Truly, no passport, you might as well go home.
or run home, get it, and drive to Chicago. Meet us in Chicago.
Well, you
There
could
you
get,
go, yeah,
you could get home, because the Geneseo people, I'm asking that you will be there at 5:45. Yes.
Is there also a parking provision? Okay.
No, I think that you're just gonna have to have a friendly neighbor drop you off, or, I mean, I don't know, but maybe you know the owners of Beck's, and they're really your buddies. Yeah.
What corner of the parking lot would you prefer to gather at?
I mean, here at the
Here at
Putnam,
the
or
Putnam. I would say just towards the back of the parking lot, so that we can reserve the part of the parking lot that's closest to the building for our daily visitors. So that means the north end of the parking lot. The north end, yeah, because that way our daily visitors will have a little bit easier walk. And I'm not sure exactly where the Act 2 bus will be when they pull in, but before they kind of pulled up to the sidewalk in front of us on the north end of the building. But yeah, I would request that you park your cars for long-term parking on the north end of the lot. Yeah, north and east side. Thank you. Your division.
does the Putnam have security, or do the police circle around the Putnam occasionally?
You know, the police come by every day on their rounds. Yeah, and they come through the park and everything at night to check on the park. We don't have a security camera that reaches that far in the parking lot, so but we do have cops. They do a lot of drive-bys.
You know, in your hand, your little booklet, which I hope you really have read it, and if you haven't, there's a lot of good information in that booklet. But be sure to have
Studio.
some kind of a hat that's gonna protect you. The sun is strong, even in October, the sun is strong. Bring that water bottle, that to use on your shore excursion, sunscreen. I think it's all on the CETA's checklist. I think that they did a really good job with that. Okay, any questions? Yes.
Do we need power adapters on the boat?
On the boat, you will need to have an adapter. Now, the boat may, boat actually it was a Holland America ship. Yeah, I was too. And so there's a possibility that they have dual plugs. And if I can find that out, but I know in our hotels, you're going to need the
CRF, right?
did you look that up?
Yeah, it's a C or E/F, that one type. But
You need to-
I recommend if you don't have one already, get a set from Amazon. It's actually kind of cheaper to get the full set. And if you travel anywhere else with a different plug, you're covered. So
Yeah.
Two
All five of them.
strong. Yeah. The other thing, you may want to invest in, if I happen to have an iPhone, Apple phone. I just bought an Apple tag, to put in my luggage, and Target had them on sale for $25. So the Air tags, and I know that if you have an Android, there are tags that, work for them. And the reason I bring this up is, your obviously the big bag, you want to make sure that it gets from Istanbul to Athens. But you might have another bag that you might just forget someplace, like a backpack, and and maybe you want an Air tag in that, so you know where you left it. But those are really nice. And actually, I was on a cruise, and we were in the cocktail lounge where they were doing the description of what was going on the next day, and a man got up who was across from me and left. And when they turned the lights on, there was his wallet. And so I thought, all right, now I've got his wallet. Do I take it to the desk? Do I take it down to dinner or whatever?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I'll take it down to dinner because I'll recognize him, which I did. And, I said, you left this, on the sofa. And he said, I knew you had it because of the Air tag. He had the Air tag in his wallet.
So he was cool as a cucumber, huh?
He was just waiting for me to deliver it. Any other questions?
I'd like to, sorry, Dan. I'd like to take a moment to talk once again about weather, temperature, and clothing. So I was just a long time ago when we were in the beginning stages of planning this trip, I added Athens into my regular rotation of weather. And right now, as of the next 10 days that they're predicting, so before we get there, highs of low 80s, lows mid 60s. It'll be a little bit cooler when we get there, but typically, according to our online almanacs and everything like that, we can expect the temperatures to be between the mid 60s and mid 70s while we're there. Now, keep in mind, it will be windy when we're on the boat, when we're on the islands. So I really suggest planning for wearing layers. So that's going to be your best friend, because when you're out in the sun, it's going to feel a bit hotter. When you're in those sites that don't have very many trees around, you're in the ruins or wherever you are, you might want to be able to peel off a layer. But when that wind hits, you're on the coast a lot of the time or very near a coast, that wind's going to be quite strong. So please plan on dressing in layers. And for anyone who's planning any excursions or visits to religious sites, for the women, I do recommend you pack a skirt. It may not be required by every site, but it is considered pretty respectful to do so. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She came up really up.
The shoulder covering, I personally, when I was in Greece, never went into a place where I had to cover my head. But I did go to a monastery where skirts were required for women, specifically a skirt that covered our knees. And I was wearing a t-shirt at the time, so my shoulders were covered. I don't remember whether or not they asked women in tank tops to cover their shoulders. But it might be a good idea to bring something that, bring those layers. So.
One thing that one of your handouts that we didn't talk about, and I need to talk about it, and that is the island sustainability tax. And when we organized all this, there was not an island sustainability tax, and it was just imposed July 1st. July 1st, 2025. And what it is, we're a small ship, but when the big cruise lines come in, like to Santorini or Mykonos, and they drop off 5,000 people, the infrastructure of these islands have taken a lot of traffic. So, to help each island, it's again, the sustainability tax. So what it is for the islands that we are visiting, they have come up with a amount, and it's on that handout. Santorini and Mykonos, we will be there in what they call the shoulder season. So they're charging €12 per person that steps off the ship and arrives on the island. Milos and Crete, they are only charging €3 per person. And I don't have an answer for Ephesus because that's Turkey, or Thessaloniki because that's mainland. Now, this was something that we weren't expecting when, we planned the trip and when we priced out the trip. And even if we had, we can't collect it. The cruise line is obligated to collect it and pay the island because the cruise line has the docking privileges. So what they do is when they're swiping I just learned this, but when they're swiping your card as you get off in, say, Santorini, they have a system that they know that you set foot in Santorini, and they will put it on your shipboard account. And so they will charge your shipboard account €12. And then when you go to Mykonos, they'll do it again. But then Milos is only $5, and Crete or Herculum. Is Crete Herculum the same thing?
Herculum is a city in Crete, it's modern day.
Oh,
The
okay.
city that we're visiting.
Okay.
It is near.
Right. So you will have a shipboard account there. They will swipe your credit card, and you may purchase other things that are going to go on your shipboard account. But this is called the Island Sustainability Tax, and we gave you a handout so that you understand when you see that on your bill, that's what it is, and it's per person. Yeah, we built in the port charges, we built in the gratuities, we tried handling bottled water, we tried to think of everything, but this one, yeah.
Recent brands is by day. How many people could be in the city on any given day?
Wow.
They just showed the river full of giant cruise ships, one after the other, after the other, after the other, all waiting to get off and prestige the sites. And now,
Wow.
so I'm not surprised at all.
There
Honestly, I'm
is,
surprised it took them this long to do it, especially for these small islands.
yeah. And I think Barcelona, Spain has done it.
And there was-
Venice, I think Venice, Italy has. Yeah, it's.
Italy is all.
Any other questions? Now, you've all got bags and luggage tags here, and yep, here's another question.
My sister's not a huge history thing. So what her questions is, we know we paid for certain excursions and stuff, but what if we decide we don't want to go along? Are we
You just
good
don't-
to go?
Yep, you just
Whatever
don't
we want that day?
show. Yeah,
Perfect.
if you know for a fact that, that there's something that you don't want to do that we have already prepaid for you, let us know and we'll see. But again, I can't guarantee because you've got
Well,
your
I don't care
documents.
about-
Yeah, okay.
Still paid for it. She just wanted to make sure that it was fine if we just decided to
Right.
not.
Yeah.
If there's a day where you've got an excursion planned and you're, not feeling well and you can't come, that's,
Yeah, we tried to, again, have as much value added to make this special. But again, this is your trip.
But on the ones that you book privately, if you decide so far ahead of time, do they reimburse for those? Most places do, but.
If you have pre-booked something, we have until 3 days to request to cancel. So, since we are leaving on the 29th, I would say use something reasonable because I'm the one that has to cancel it for you. I would say if you want to cancel, please let me know by about the 26th.
And is there, if you decide to add more excursions? can we
That-
still do
yes.
that? We do that up until.
You can add, you can, if you let me know, I can add them and just use whatever the credit card. Or when you're on the ship, there is a excursion desk. And you can add, like, especially if you want to go to the beach, because that was one that we couldn't book, in advance. And on Santorini and on Mykonos, because we are there late, like until 2 a.m. or so, that if there's an evening activity that you want to add on, that shore desk could do that. If we get to an island and a tour gets canceled, for whatever reason, they will then give you the credit on your credit card. Yes. Bob.
Ship, is the ship docked or are we tethered in?
One thing.
Because if we're in Santorini and it's gonna be the whole day and they're gonna charge me 12 euros to go on the island, and I come back, do I have?
You're only going to be charged once. And based on my experience last year, when we were in Santorini, we had to use the tenders that are owned by people from Santorini. And so they would come out and get us, but you could come back and forth as many times. And it seems to me, Mykonos, we were able to use the tenders on the ship, which are actually bigger. They're like the lifeboats, I think, on the ship.
So
But-
none of them are actually, were docked.
Those are the only two that we have tenders. The rest, we have docks. Yeah, which is nice, Yeah.
I did have one other question.
Sure.
About the.
We can do-
The beach excursions. you said
Yes.
That we can't.
Jessica?
plan for-
Mhm.
pay for them until we're on the ship. Do you know what those are? Like, are they just dropping you at a beach and you're on your own? Or is there a beach club there that?
And
that
that's
have Restaurants or?
That is where- there's going to be like a shore excursion lecture, probably the first day or every night to remind us. And they will be able, because I'm guessing that when we're being there in October, some beaches may be open, some may not. When I was there in May the last time, and nobody in the group wanted to go. So I don't have any firsthand experience. All right, guys, please, oh, yes.
Correct feet of shoes. I read somewhere.
Must continue saving America.
Through security?
There's
Oh.
something that about that security, that you have to think souls. I mean.
In the airport or?
It was the airport, yeah, the airport.
Boy,
Okay, so the only thing I could think of there is when we went through Heathrow last year, they had these newfangled shoe scanners they were using that like somehow
You
read.
can put your foot up on a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but half the time it didn't work anyway. But I would say whatever you're comfortable in and feel supportive. I'm a fan of thicker soled shoes. especially because as we know, when we are in Ephesus, if you're doing the excursion with us in Ephesus that we signed up for, it can have uneven walkways. You're walking on ancient streets. So you want something supportive to hopefully prevent a twisted ankle or anything like that. So definitely not a time to wear sandals. You want to have your tennis shoes or, you know.
Yeah, I would say Ephesus and on our day on the Acropolis, because Acropolis is uneven and
Yeah.
a lot of people. And those of you who had the picture of the Acropolis, you saw a lot of people there. Sure.
I saw a video on probably YouTube or something. This woman who got into port in Santorini. And then if we have an excursion that we pay for in Santorini, are they picking us up in a bus? Or do we have to get ourselves up because they were
Okay.
talking about the 3-hour lines?
Okay,
Right up the, whatever you call it.
there, all of the shore excursions are, I'll say 90%. They're morning excursions. The ship is going to dismiss us by the number of the excursion. And so we'll get on the tender, get onto the mainland. Yes, they have coaches for those excursions. If you've not signed up for a Santorini excursion, then you will need to either hike it, take a donkey. Yeah, that they have a funicular, they have donkeys, or you can hike it. If you're going up to the top, or an
But if
Uber.
you're doing an excursion.
If you're doing
they
excursion,
pick you up
right.
in a bus.
Now, at the end of the day, now, that is a very good question. Because in Santorini, most people, after the end of their excursion, they want to go get a coffee or a beer and just enjoy the view. The big cruise ships are leaving at usually 5 o'clock. Our ship is staying until like 2 a.m. So my advice is, if there is a line for the funicular to go down, don't get in the line. Go get a coffee. Go do something, because if there's a large cruise ship in port on the day we're there, there's like 5,000 people on that cruise ship. So that's the best.
We're doing an excursion
Right.
early in the day.
Mhm.
That city of,
Fira is way at the top.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
so the bus or whatever will pick us up.
They will pick you up and then they will, at the top, they will give you a funicular coupon so that you can go down
Spend
when
the
you
rest of
want.
The day, okay.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Yes.
You didn't mention anything about visas. Is the visa we're supposed to? worry
No,
about?
we don't need a visa.
Need to worry about.
So these are all the luggage tags and the little holder for it. I'm just gonna have them here.
Linda, should I go ahead and stop the
You can
online meeting?
stop that, and please pick up a bag. And make sure you take it with one per person.
I'll go get them.
And we need to get.
Sure.
Luggage, or we need our.
Well, they probably won't even scan it because they're gonna go like that.